Okay, we are looking at things from the English side of the battlefield. It is now turn 6. So heavy foot and their irregulars hold up here outside of the bow range from that longbowman. That armored foot in the distance is still closing up. Looks like he's going to be the heavy reserve force hanging out back there for the French. They're not quite sure, but they definitely don't want to get in that bowfire yet. Over to their left, the armored foot are holding back as well because they're not sure what is going to happen here with combat. So heavy horse versus heavy horse versus medium horse. These three skirmishers failed their rally roll during the admin segment, and now during this next turn they are moving. These longbowmen, the English longbowmen, moved forward to once again harass the crossbowmen up there, or perhaps the skirmishers. I haven't decided what shot is going to be taken by what. Probably they're going to try and get rid of these skirmishers first, since that's an easier shot for them. Less chance they'll make a saving throw. Melee continues here with the last of the skirmish line. Those guys are hiding out behind the wall. Those guys are, again, providing the cover to prevent the onslaught from occurring. So we'll see what happens here. So these longbowmen have decided to make the shot at the skirmishers. Skirmishers do not have a shot coming back because they're armed with short bows. These guys are going to get 3 dice. They roll a 10, an 11. Divide that by a quarter since it's long range. And that's going to end up being, oh gosh, back down to 2, right? So 0.25 times 11, it's still going to be 2. So to save, they have to get a 5 or 6. Of course, they got 2 6s. So no effect for the English longbow fire, no effect at all. But that was shot 1 of 3 because I keep forgetting that these rules are not the same as chainmail. So let's go with 2 more rounds of shooting. So that's crap. So 4 divided into quarters means that's actually just 1 potential casualty. Let's make their saving throw. They failed, so they lose 1 skirmisher. And then the final round of bow shot there, it's only 6, 7 divided by 4 is going to be 1 when you round it down. Oh boy. So again, and another save. So all that sound and fury signifying nothing, only 1 skirmisher removed. Moving on to the skirmisher battle. So the French side has 6 skirmishers and the English side has 5. It's 1 dice per 5 men. That means both of them get to roll 1 dice. Let's see what the French do with theirs. The French rolled a 5, oh boy, and the English rolled a 2. So 5 divided by half is going to be 2.5, rounded down as 2. Potential casualties on the English, and that rounds down to 1. So the French making their saving throw against that 1 potential casualty failed their save. French will lose 1 man. And now the English making their saving throw against the 2 potential casualties, needing a 5 or 6, and they save 1 and lose 1. So the English lose 1 as well. Wow, it's weird to try and do stuff on camera. All right. Next problem is that we do not have a heavy horse versus heavy horse matchup. The closest we have is heavy horse versus armored foot, but we know that's just a little bit odd. So, what shall we do? What shall we do? Do we have a medium horse versus medium horse? We got a medium versus heavy, and again, we had no guidance, so we assumed individual fighting. And heavy horse versus medium. I think what we're going to do is just a straight throw. This is the closest we have, heavy horse versus medium horse, where the heavy horse got that +1, but I think if it's a straight up fight, it's just straight up throws. So it's going to be 6 throws versus 6 throws. I'll line them up and knock them down here in a second. Okay, so this turn we're looking at things from the English perspective. Don't worry, Frenchies, we're going to look at your side in a moment. Oui. All right, so from left to right, so 5 versus 5, that's going to be a simultaneous kill. A 2 versus a 3 goes to that side's advantage. 5 versus 3, that side's advantage. 2 versus 2, I'm going to say simultaneous kills. 3 versus 4, this side, and 4 versus 4, simultaneous kills. So interesting. Let's remove these and fill in the blocks. So that ended up being a complete wash. I think at this point I also want to try the heroic challenge. Both of these I'm saying are heroes, so they are equally matched So it will be strictly the winner of a dice roll to see which hero gets removed. I will first roll for the English hero, who rolls a 6. That's going to be tough to beat. Here comes the French hero. A 2. The French hero is removed from the field. Oh, that was harsh. So we have just rolled for the French medium horse versus the English cavalry, which I have not added one yet to this, but it's looking like we got a winner, winner, winner when you add the +1, winner with the +1, winner, and winner. That is devastating for the French horse. They lose 6 riders. Here's what the battlefield looks like at the end of round, or at the end of turn 6 rather. We've had 3 rounds of melee up there, I think, with the skirmishers. 2 rounds of melee for the horsemen. Hard to tell who's going to win, but I definitely feel like the system is becoming more intuitive. I'm understanding now that I've been through several rounds of exchanging bowfire. Flipping back and forth to the table is not hugely, it's not a huge problem. If I had a QRS, if I just had if I miniaturized it and put it on a 3x5 index card, I think that saving throw table is really one of the main things that you would need to have sitting out. The ranges, I'm starting to memorize what the ranges are, starting to memorize the multipliers, and the same thing with melee. Once you get into the combat here, now that I know how to do medium horse versus heavy horse and heavy horse versus heavy horse, and understand that the auto break with the light infantry, I'm starting to get a feel for the flow of how the system could play out. I think you still would have to have either a referee or some collegial play between the opposing sides, because there are no rules about these movement intricacies where players can often get hung up, especially somebody with an ego that starts to lose. But as far as like a quick roll the dice and get stuff done, I mean, this is starting to feel more intuitive than chainmail, maybe a little bit. Maybe I just haven't played enough chainmail.